And good morning, everybody. Welcome, Hot Takes Goodman and Haertl. Bruce, how are you this morning?
I'm well, Eric. Just looking forward to getting the Broncos out to San Francisco, getting them through a shared practice and into that first exhibition game. I think I'm far more interested in the shared practice than I am the exhibition game, but that'll all play out. So looking forward to the rest of the week.
By the way, I hate to do some house cleaning here. Are we doing the shows together the rest of the week?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, Are you going to be in San Francisco?
No, I don't think so. I think that we're going to go a different route. We have it covered, but I don't think that I'm going to go, which is fine. That's part of the plan.
Oh, well, you do plenty of traveling. You've done plenty of traveling in sports, and I'm sure you're like,
yes,
I'll take a pass on flying to San Francisco and then hopping in the car to get to Santa Clara and go through all that stuff.
I am fine with not going. I will say that.
I am sure you are. In the meantime, I want to tell you about Nola Jane. If you've never had great Cajun food, you are missing out on a treat, especially because there is a great Cajun restaurant right in our backyard called Nola Jane, right off of Market Street, right down the street from Ball Arena. It should absolutely be your pre- and post-game spot for anything you do at Ball Arena, whether it's the Avs, whether it's the Nuggets, how about a concert. Start off the party with a bowl of award-winning sausage gumbo. Get some crawfish etouffee. They have 6 different po' boys, Gator po' boy, the debris, which is the classic wash it down with a hurricane. Weather is hot outside. Maybe you want to be outside on a patio. Maybe you want to be outside on a rooftop. On the rooftop at Nola Jane's, a little bit cooler up there, overlook Market Street. Great food, great drinks. Go check out Nola Jane in Alodo. Time now for The Lead.
The Lead is presented by Smokin' Dave's Barbecue. It is not just the best barbecue in town, it is one of the best restaurants in town. You can find Smokin' Dave's Barbecue off 36th and Pecos.
Yahoo Sports' Charles Robinson did an in-depth interview with Sean Payton, and Payton revealed that his confidence is not only high with Bo Nix. I think it is fair to say he has blown a hole through the ozone layer way into space on how he feels about his young quarterback. This is what he said. Bo Nix is going to be one of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the league the next 2 years. That's what we're seeing right now. Doesn't take sacks, exceptional arm strength. Through the longest pass in air yards last season at 67 yards against Cincinnati. He can run. He can throw funny body angles, yada, yada, yada. With that, that's a confident statement. But is he, too confident saying that Nix is going to be a top 5 quarterback in the next few seasons?
No, I think that he has that innate confidence and he's willing to challenge Bo Nix to get there by saying it. I mean, Sean Payton has far more information than I do as a daily observer. I can tell you what my eyes tell me, and we talk about that a lot on this broadcast each and every morning. But Sean Payton is working things in the best way that he knows how to get the most out of the player. So far be it for me to even question the motive. It's a lot. It's a lot. However, you and I have talked about, was Bo Nix a top 10 quarterback in this league over the last 11, 12 games last year? Mm-hmm. If you came up with the answer yes, it shouldn't be too far a leap to see a way that he could get into a top 5 or whatever position in the next couple of years if, and that's a big if, the trajectory of this franchise continues to move upwards.
I believe he's going to be a top 10 quarterback consistently in this league moving forward. Right. I don't know if it's going to start midseason. I don't know if it's going to start next season. There is a difference between me saying it. There is a difference between, call it one of the top NFL analysts on ESPN saying it, and then Sean Payton saying it.
Right.
If somebody at ESPN says it, you're just throwing out an opinion. When Sean Payton says it, you're putting a target on his back. I think. I really do. Because what's going to happen if for some reason, and I'm not suggesting Bo Nix can't handle criticism. I'm not suggesting that Bo Nix isn't a guy who would get booed and it wouldn't affect him. But when your head coach says that, anytime maybe you go through a stretch of playing poorly, you are going to hear this. He is going to hear this from opposing fans, from his own fans. Think about what Sean Payton said at the Combine, which was, in so many words, we know how to evaluate quarterbacks better than anybody else. And the word we wasn't even accurate. He meant him. He barely knew his organization. He was around his organization for 1 year. He meant him. I can evaluate better than anybody else. And honestly, he said that with zero proof of that being true. Ian Book, sorry, that doesn't count. The kid out of Colorado State who they drafted, right? He didn't turn out to be much of a quarterback. If Sean Payton would have missed on Bo Nix and this guy was just another guy, to this day, we'd be talking about this. Remember when Sean Payton said this about his tremendous acumen, this better than everybody else at evaluating quarterbacks? If he would have missed on Bo Nix, we'd still be talking about it for potentially years until he probably got fired if they don't have a quarterback of the future or if they don't start winning playoff games. But there's a difference, I think, between Sean Payton throwing that bullseye on his own back and then throwing it on somebody else. So with that, give me the pros of him doing this. And then, are there any cons? And maybe I'm just being too conservative about this. Sean Payton is a guy who speaks his mind.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to speak your mind that freely and throw out, phrases like that, top 5, moving forward in so many words, do it for yourself. Don't do it on others. That's just my opinion.
I think that he has a very good understanding of what this player can take and receive and handle. I would count on him having that understanding. He's with him day to day. He's in film sessions. He's working game plans. All of the things, all of the nuances in the relationship should be there by now. The understanding of each other. I don't think that he's foisting anything upon Bo Nix that Bo Nix can't handle. That'd be counterproductive at this point. I guess people could debate it from the outside looking in. I don't disrespect that. I think that's something that one could do or a group of people could do. But at the end of the day, this is about Sean Payton knowing the player. And I think that it shows an incredible amount of belief in the player from the head coach. That, I think, is probably worth its weight in gold to a guy like Bo Nix, who, by the way, I think would have no problem dealing with criticism. He might be short. I mean, what was it last year? There was
right.
Was it? I can't remember.
Right through the interception. What did you see on that play?
Yeah. Well, the other guy caught it. I mean, okay. So we get that, and that's okay because that's a little spicy too, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. So, so I guess the conclusion for me was, I trust the coach to know what's best for the player, and we will see moving forward. I think it takes a minute for Sean Payton to get to a place where he would make a statement like that.
I agree.
I don't think that Sean Payton is quick with the handouts. You know what I mean? I think it has to be really, really seriously earned. It's interesting that in such a short time it has been earned, because it has been a short time. We're not even we're a year into this thing, and the sample size is still 17 games and a bunch of off-season conditionings. So it's interesting, but I think that it's probably a strategy that has been arrived at through careful consideration by Sean Payton.
If you're going to be a top 5 quarterback in this league,
Yeah,
consistently,
yeah,
you're going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Period. You are.
Well,
Okay.
look at the pool he'd be swimming in.
Well,
right?
Let me help you with that pool,
Feel
and then
free.
let me tell you. Then let me tell you who would not be in that pool.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Burrow, Nix. Those are your 5. Those are your 5 faces on Mount Rushmore. Jaden Daniels isn't on that list, right? Who else are you going to leave off if he's top 5? Now, granted, we're being nitpicky here because maybe he should have said one of the top quarterbacks in this league. I just think he could have dialed it back just a wee bit.
Could have.
Listen, I'm going to sound like get off my lawn guy, man yelling at clouds. You know, let Sean Payton do his thing. So far, everything he's touched has turned to gold. And I'm not debating that at all. I'm not sure correct me if I'm wrong. You've been doing this longer than me, and I've been doing this for 35 years, which makes you really fucking old. So with that, tell me how many coaches you have covered that have said something so definitively this early about one of his players. Because this is certainly the anti-Bill Parcells.
Well, Sean is very direct anyway. He's probably as honest and direct as I'm trying to think of a coach that really, I mean, obviously I haven't been around Belichick. So, and
Belichick doesn't throw around praise like this.
No.
Or really any praise at all.
No.
Unless he is, looking at an OnlyFans page of girls that are 25 and younger.
Okay.
Then he praises.
There you go.
I could date her. She's hot. Oh, she's 26, too old for me.
Gotcha. I think Sean is as direct as any football coach that I've been around. I think he is absolutely direct and to the point.
Mm-hmm.
He has no problems making these kinds of statements. He's done it before. Maybe not this directly as it relates to a player. I wasn't around him, obviously, in New Orleans, but he has a great deal of reverence, obviously, for Drew Brees. That's been earned over a career, and they've got history together. But to be this direct and this aggressive with the player this early in his career, he has a lot of confidence to make that statement, and obviously feels that Bo Nix can handle it. It can handle the perceived praise, but also the expectation that he's going to get there. Bo Nix will be the first one to tell you he isn't there yet. He's not there. He still has things to learn. I have things to get better with. He has said that directly himself. But I think that there's a growing trust in the symbiotic relationship between the two that will serve them and the franchise well moving forward. And this is probably a part of what needs to happen in the relationship, kind of the unfettered confidence that one has in the other to get there, even though on the surface, it may seem like a bold statement. But I will be honest with you, Eric, when I heard it yesterday, it didn't ruffle my feathers as much as it would have a year ago, obviously, when there was no demonstrated ability. But my point is, I don't think it didn't sound as outrageous as maybe it could have. I think that there is a fair amount of belief in Bo Nix right now, subject to change. We're going to get into playing games here pretty quickly, but subject to change, that he is a guy on the come. And I think that he is, and I know the metrics say 15, 17, somewhere in that range right now, but I think people in the know have him as a top 10, top 12 kind of guy right now. So how far is that jump? That remains the question.
How far is what jump?
Well, getting into a top 5 is rare air, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But if you can get Bo Nix if Bo Nix can be a top 8, top 10 guy this year, Broncos are going to win a lot of football games.
I would agree. Listen, I have no problems with me saying it. But when, okay, I have no problems with somebody else in the media or fans or analysts saying it. But there is a lot of weight when the head coach says it. You are setting not just expectations, but a ridiculous amount of expectations on this kid. And you are going to be the one that looks like the fool for potentially being wrong. And I hope he isn't wrong. But it's Bo Nix that's going to be the one who has to live with it. Because all he's going to hear from opposing fans, hey, if he has a bad game, hey, Bo, I guess your coach is wrong. Forget about top 5. You're not even top 15. He will hear it over and over and over again on the road if he throws an interception. Fans are brutal. They remember everything. I'm not disagreeing that with what Sean Payton said. I don't know if he'll be top 5. I think he will be close one day. I really do. Yep. And I have said that multiple times. I'm just saying that all he had to say was, I think he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Leave it open, top 5, top 10. He was so specific about it. He is very direct. And you love that about him as a media member. I totally understand that. I mean, you and I both scoffed when he made that comment at the combine. He had no proof behind it. Zero. None. Did he?
Just the innate belief in what he thinks he knows or what he does know. I mean, I think it's a very interesting psychological move to and I don't know how it was. I mean, I don't know if it's something or other that he thought of, if it's something or other that he has. I mean, he's pretty intentional.
Bruce, so let's look at last year, USA Today, Jarrett Bell sitting in the office, lighting candles, throwing on the shower, and then doing whatever else he does. And he had a couple of lattes.
Yeah.
Right?
He's pretty intentional in the way that he communicates. And so there's method to madness. I mean, I think it's just another very interesting chip that he has put on the table in the game that he and Bo Nix are playing in the development of that relationship as it relates to the Denver Broncos.
Okay, so if you thought Payton was confident in Nix, equally as confident in his team, he said the short-term goal is winning the division,
right?
But this is a team capable of winning the Super Bowl. I've coached 6 teams that I thought could win a Super Bowl. Some went to championship games, some to the playoffs. This is my 7th team, and I think this team has it. Well, at least he stripped down that prediction a little bit, because that to me wasn't even as close to being as strong. He couched that. And that's what I wish he would have done with Nix. He could have couched it better and being so definitive. If Sean Payton came out and said, I think we are absolutely going to be in the thick of getting to the Super Bowl, that's strong. The way he phrased that was far more measured, where you can interpret it X number of ways. With Nix, there is no other way to interpret it. So getting to what he said about his own team, you have any argument with what Payton said? or do you think he's spot on? You know how I feel. I've talked about it many times. I think this has a chance to be a really good football team.
I think it has a chance to be a really good to better than really good football team.
Yep.
Is it a Super Bowl team? I think we've talked about this from jump. I think that they're probably that second tier. If you have that rare tier of 4 or 5 teams, I don't think that I would consider the Broncos to be on that tier, but I would listen to them in the next tier of 4 or 5 more teams. I think that they're a top 10 candidate to reach the Super Bowl. Now we can argue about how many real candidates there are in the top 10, but I don't think either statements in and of themselves would make anyone blush, which means to me that the Broncos are getting closer, that you can make a statement about Bo Nix the way that he did, and a statement about the Broncos the way that they did, and not have people shaking their head and rolling their eyes over the travesty of it. There is, I'm not saying a total buy-in and belief nationally, whatever the case may be, but I'm saying it's not dismissed out of hand.
Right.
That's where we are with the Broncos right now. Is it silly to put them on a level with the Eagles and the Bills and the Ravens? Probably, right? Probably. That's my way of thinking at any rate. However, to your point, and we've talked about this, they are look, if they're 3-1 coming out of the first 4 games, and that's an if. You got to go to LA to play the Chargers, and you're home against Joe Burrow. But you can be, if you're 3-1 and you're going to Philadelphia and playing the Eagles, think about what a seminal moment that could be for the Broncos. And then we are talking about the Broncos as there's some reality to things.
Yeah.
If you're going to Philly and you're making a statement, and now that's so cart before the horse. It's ridiculous, ridiculous. So, but I'm just saying that you can at least see some scenarios where the Broncos can have some chances to prove themselves at some pretty key times this year. And I think that they will do that.
Coming up after the break. Coming up after the break. So what's going to happen if for some reason Bo Nix goes through some rough patches? How is Payton going to react when he's asked, hey, remember when you said he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in the next 2 years? Well, the word 5 is interesting because he has thrown, talking about Nix, 5 interceptions over his last 3 team sessions. Will that make Sean Payton more defensive because of what he just said, putting his own reputation on the line for Bo Nix? How's that going to look? That's next.
Spice up your next night out at Nola Jane and Lodo. Authentic Cajun cuisine like andouille sausage gumbo with dirty rice, crawfish etouffee, as well as 6 different po' boys like soft-shell crab and shrimp. Come in before or after a game at Ball Arena. Host a party or party on their rooftop deck overlooking Market Street during happy hour from 11 a.m. to 5. Plus, Nola Jane caters, delivers, and the kitchen is open late night. Make Nola Jane your new favorite spot to eat, drink, and party like it's Mardi Gras.
Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk have another incredible promotion. They'll be giving away a new Sea-Doo, 4-wheeler, or the cash award from the Big Wheel Spin, plus $7,500 in cash. The grand prize drawing is the weekend of August 16th, and get finalist entries every 45 minutes from 10 a.m. to midnight during their daily cash drawing, with a locked-up jackpot of $100 or more. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos. Loose slots, great promotions, great food, and a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. Don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corned beef. Man, you got to try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch in the DTC. Both locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook is a hangout bar or great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, the DTC, and coming soon to Parker. They are the sports bar.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
And welcome back. Hot Takes with Goodman and Haertl. Want to tell you about Roller Auction, the leader in Colorado auctions for over 45 years. On Wednesday, there's a government fleet vehicles auction for SUVs, sedans, pickups, dump trucks, vans, trailers, and more. That is tomorrow. Don't forget, you can bid online. You don't have to leave your home. You can set a price. And it's really easy. You don't have to sit there and listen to some auctioneer do a cattle rattle. You do it on your own time and get what you want at the price you want. Online bidding is started at rollerauction.com. Don't forget to go to rollerauction.com to learn about upcoming auctions as well. Get what you want at the price you want today at Roller Auction. Time now for What's Trending.
What's Trending is presented by Ferguson's Heating and Cooling. Your family should trust the Ferguson family for all your heating and cooling needs, and you'll see why they have over 165 5-star Google reviews. Make an appointment today at fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Okay, Bruce. Last segment, we talked about Payton gushing over Nix yesterday. He defended Nix. We threw a pair of interceptions in practice. 5 picks over the last 3 days of team periods. It is only training camp. I get it. A lot of quarterbacks that I've covered have said interceptions in training camp are overrated because they are trying things that they wouldn't ordinarily try in a game. I will take those quarterbacks at their word. With that, when Payton was asked about it, he said, "We're charting picks here like hurricanes. He's doing fine." Are you downplaying this as much as Payton is? And is that our first indication of Payton saying what he said about Nix, top 5 quarterback in the next 2 years, and this is a foreshadowing of things to come, where if Nix does anything that isn't positive and he gets questioned on Nix, this is going to be the reaction because now he has literally hitched his wagon, his own doing, to his quarterback.
Well, he's got a 2-year window, remember. He's got 2 years, right, to get him to number 5. So he's got a little bit of a window and an operating room.
And wait, Bruce, let me just say this really quickly.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that Payton's not going to be right.
Right.
I mean, I like a coach who's confident.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. I'm not so sure I would throw it on that kid's shoulders because remember, the bullseye is on Nix's back, kind of on Payton's back.
Doesn't it feel a little bit like drafting him 12th and as the 6th quarterback taken in the first round? I mean, it kind of has that feel. It's a much more, it's moving it's anteing up, right? I mean, the ante is much more serious when you're putting him and locating him in a top 5 type of thing within the next 2 years. I think that that's a very encouraging forecast for growth for Bo Nix. But is it really that different? Not apples to apples, but is it really that different than taking a quarterback 6th in the first round, the last of the 6 players taken in the first round, a guy that a lot of people were saying, what in the hell are you doing? This guy, blah, 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 is fill in the blank. And Sean Payton basically giving everyone the middle finger salute, saying,
which you just did, by the way, on camera. You
Right.
just accidentally, not really off camera, kind of did this with your left hand. I don't know if you realize that.
I didn't realize it, but anyway.
Sarah would be very disappointed in you, Bruce. Grow up. Be more mature. This is a podcast.
I will work on that. I just, to me, it is very much part of who Sean Payton is. And I think it's becoming more and more a part of who Sean Payton and Bo Nix are. But I will say this. I don't concern myself with picks in
Neither do I.
in preseason. And here's the main reason why, and you've already touched upon it. Quarterbacks will try different things that they wouldn't try necessarily during the season. But I've charted every one of those picks.
Mm-hmm.
There's a similarity in all of them. They're all basically going to Courtland Sutton. Every single one of them, save for one of those 5, were going to Courtland Sutton. So whatever, the dynamic and how they're working with one another, whatever. I don't know if Bo's trying things, whatever. I know this. Bo Nix was picked off 9 times last year?
Mm-hmm.
9 times last year.
9 times.
You'll take that. You'll take that every year for Bo Nix. So I think that we get pretty breathless about interceptions. I mean, all of the millions of media were tweeting it out yesterday. He also had 7 explosive plays in team periods yesterday.
Yep.
I mean, so, and look, I'm not trying to counterbalance. Interceptions are big things, right? When we see them, it's like, oh, there's an interception, and understandably so. You don't want to throw it to the other guy.
Well, wait. Let me cut you off real quick. Well, what we don't talk enough about is maybe the wide receiver ran the wrong route.
Could be.
Right. And a lot of times, I'm not saying the majority, that does happen. Sure. Because after one of those picks yesterday, he was barking at a guy where he threw the ball and he intended to throw him the ball. Maybe the guy ran the wrong route. It's always going to be on the quarterback, the interception, because you don't know what the play is.
That's exactly right.
You know what the route is. Maybe you're supposed to run 7.5 yards and cut towards the middle. Maybe he ran 8.5 yards, and that's why it happened. The blame will always go to the quarterback. So
Always.
That's why sometimes I dismiss that stuff. All I'm saying is, and I know it's sounding like the sky is falling, I'm Chicken Little, and yada, yada, yada. But what I think is going to happen, if for some reason Bo Nix goes through some rough patches, it's going to be defensive, because Bo Nix is his guy. He has now planted his flag on Bo Nix Island, and he is going to stand there through a tsunami and say, I'm right. I'm still right, and you wait and see, and I'll be right here. Let's look at the history of Sean Payton since he has been here. He made the comment about he knows how to draft quarterbacks better than anyone else. Then he drafts Bo Nix, and he's criticized for drafting Bo Nix. I am not suggesting it's like going to Vegas and putting all your money on a blackjack hand. But he has put himself out there with that statement and then saying, I got the right quarterback. I got my guy. That's like pushing your chips all in twice.
So
And
is he doubling down now then on his most recent remarks?
he's tripling down.
Yeah, there
This
you
is
go.
This is the third comment. And
Right.
what happens with gamblers when they win big on a big bet? They're like, well, if I won this one, I'll probably win this one. So he's won 2 big bets in a row. And now he has pushed in all his chips again. I'm not suggesting he is not going to be right. But that's what people who take risks do. The risk keeps getting bigger every time you're right about taking a big risk.
But I don't think Sean Payton sees it as a gamble. I think
He doesn't have to.
I think he sees it as a sure thing.
A sure thing that Bo Nix is going to be a top 5 quarterback in this league.
Why would you make that statement if you don't believe it?
Because he's very excited about his quarterback. He's very excited about his team. Listen to the tone, if you can, reading in print. But the guy who wrote it, Robinson, he was coloring a picture for us that Sean Payton is bursting at the seams and how confident he is in this team. It wasn't just a one-off. It was throughout the entire article. And that's great if you're a Broncos fan. It's great if you are Greg Penner and Kerry Penner and the rest of the team where your coach feels a lot of confidence in you.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you should have a little bit of a filter just in case. Give yourself an out. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. But if he's wrong, he will be reminded of it. And if he's right, he will give a third, I told you so. I know how to draft quarterbacks better than anybody else. I took the 6th quarterback in the draft. This guy's going to be the best, and he's going to be top 5. He's tripling down. And that's okay if that's what you want to do. But understand there are unintended consequences when you're wrong. What would happen if the Jets lost to the Colts in Super Bowl III? Joe Namath would go into the Hall of Fame, and everyone would talk about with Joe Namath isn't the injuries, how he dressed, how he was a fashion mogul, how he was the first really big star in sports, how, he had an attitude and, so on and so forth. All they would talk about is you made a prediction, you were wrong. That's what you're remembered for. No?
I think that there are other things too, but but that would be, when you think of Joe Namath, you think of the guarantee in Super Bowl III, period.
And if he was wrong, that's all he'd hear about the rest of his career.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It'd
Absolutely.
be a Bill Buckner moment. That's all he'd be remembered for. And now for Sean Payton, he was right. He knows how to draft quarterbacks better than anyone else. At least, I don't know if that's true yet. Let's wait and see. Right now, he's saying he's going to be top 5. Certainly, you and I hope he's right. Makes our job easier. Now we're potentially, as a media group, chasing a championship or covering a championship. It's just like, Sean, it's not necessary to go that strong. He might as well say, I guarantee it. That's what he said. I guarantee he is going to be a top 5 quarterback in this league. He didn't have to use the word guarantee. But that's exactly what he did. He guaranteed it and threw that on Nix's back. I'm sure he is strong enough to handle it on his own. He threw a target on both of their backs. I just don't think it was necessary. He could have said it differently. And again, I'm being the old guy and so on and so forth. Just let your play do the talking, man. And then when good things happen, you can address it. But why did you have to go there?
Maybe
if you want to, fine.
Maybe that's what he sees as the way to not coax, but to get it out of the player. Maybe that's part of the plan in pulling this player along. We've already been witness to the maniacal way that Bo Nix prepares.
Yep.
He's in the building every day in the summer. He's seeking out ways to improve. He's picking brains. He's doing all of the things that you want a quarterback to do who is in pursuit of greatness that he has talked about. I want to be the best. I want to be the best. He has said that himself.
Right.
I don't want to be a top 40 player in the NFL. I want to be the best player in the NFL.
But isn't there a difference?
Yeah, there may be a difference. I'm just saying, I think the two kind of match up in what they're shooting for. And I think that Sean my best guess is he feels like this is what the player needs to get there.
You think you think that Bo Nix needs motivation to be great? Because I don't think he needs We're talking about top 5. The statement that he made was specifically for top 5. And by the way, that's 2 years down the road. There's a lot of wiggle room within 2 years on how this player and this relationship between coach and player continues to develop. This is something we'll examine again in 2 years and say, where are we? I mean, are we a confident top 5? I don't think it's out of the realm, certainly, based on what we've seen from Bo Nix. He's got plenty of room to continue to grow, but I don't think it's something or other, again, that's laughed at, something that's dismissed as, oh, isn't that just a cute little remark coming out of Denver? The one area where I will not necessarily side with Payton, but I have confidence in Payton. He knows what a Hall of Fame quarterback looks like.
Yes, he does.
Because his Hall of Fame quarterback will be going into the Hall of Fame next year.
Yep.
First year on the ballot, Drew Brees. When you have been around greatness, you know what it looks like. I'm guessing that's where he is coming from. But think about what Bo Nix said. I want to be the greatest quarterback in the NFL. That's open-ended. Top 5 is drawing a line in the sand.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is I love his confidence in Nix. I just kind of wish you would have phrased it a little bit differently. Because now it's bulletin board material for all of us in the media and fans if he's wrong. And I don't want him to be wrong, and neither do you. But why put yourself out there like that? It's just, to me, it wasn't necessary. And oh, by the way, Joe Namath, his guarantee wasn't a guarantee. He's like, I am tired of hearing about the Colts all the time. It's like we're not even playing in this game. We're going to win this game. I'm not guarantee it. That's how he said it.
You're exactly right.
Yep. It was said in a way that wasn't, I'm guaranteeing it. He said it as an off-the-cuff remark because he was tired of hearing about how great the Colts are. And that was at a press conference at the Super Bowl in which there were lots of press conferences with Joe Namath. With Sean, this was premeditated.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he was going to say. And oh, by the way, Sean, can you say that stuff to the local media a little bit more instead of waiting for the national media to ride in on a white horse and give them all the good stuff?
Nah, that's never going to change.
No, it's not.
But he is better. I think that we can all agree he is so much better now with the local media than he was.
No question.
Oh my God. I mean, he actually has a relationship with us now. Now, yesterday he was short. Yesterday he was 8 minutes and like 17 seconds.
He's been fantastic.
But
I'm just saying, give us.
Yep. He's not,
give
not
us the golden quote.
Yep. He rolls it up. And he comes close to saying some things like that, but he won't give us that golden drip, right? So
yeah.
But there's never a dull day. Even on dull days, there's never a dull day.
He's a fun coach to cover.
Yep.
Because sometimes you don't know which guy's walking up to the podium, but he is honest as he can be. So to me, he's very similar to covering George Karl. George was very honest. Michael Malone's very honest.
Yeah, very.
We've been very, very fortunate. Covering Mike Shanahan, total difference. Ask me here. because you never sat through a Mike Shanahan press conference like I did. Okay. Let me ask me a question. Okay. And I'll answer it like Sean Payton would and how Mike Shanahan would. Ask me any question that football related.
Mike, you've got a pretty good quarterback out there towards the end of his career. Is he one of the greatest to have ever played?
If I'm Sean Payton, absolutely he is. Now, which quarterback are you talking about?
John Elway.
Okay. Oh, absolutely he is. I would say he's the best quarterback of all time. That's what Sean Payton would say. Now ask me the same question to Mike Shanahan.
Blah, 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 blah.
I love crawfish boils. Nothing gets me more excited than grabbing the little guy, cracking it open, and sucking out the head. Mike, when he didn't want to answer a question,
right,
he would not. When he had an agenda, he'd find a way to weave it. Forget about weaving it in there. He would jam it in there. He did things, and we're getting way off topic here, and we got to close the show anyway. When Mike got pissed about something, okay, specifically at the referees on bad calls, the one thing that Mike Shanahan always got dogged for was with his zone blocking scheme, chop blocking. It was a big deal around here that the players are accused of chop blocking. And when Mike felt he was right, it was field trip time. Do you know what I mean by field trip time?
No.
He would literally ask the media to come to his office like on a field trip, and he had the tape all queued up, ready to go to show us how that was not a chop block.
Interesting times.
Yes, it was. That's going to do it for us. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Broncos final practice today before they head to San Francisco. Make it the best possible day you can.